there, I'm really glad you came by today because I'm the book lady and I bring 2 books and I read them to you and we talk about them. And these are good books. These are books that make you think. Guess what? I also brought a friend with me. That is Cecilia, but we call her Cece.
I'm her granddaughter.
Yes, she is. And we have a lot of fun together. And after we do this show, we're probably going to go get some maybe ice cream. Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe not, but probably we will. Anyway, let me show you the 2 books we're going to do. One is called Truman. I love Truman. This is the greatest little turtle that ever was, and I think Truman's wonderful. Jean Ridley wrote this book, and Reedy, I think, or Reedy. I'm not sure how we're going to pronounce her last name. And so either way, I'm going to butcher it. But it's Truman. And then the other book we're going to read is What Do You Do with an Idea? This one's really going to make you think. And I will also tell you that Cece has not read these books. And I didn't read them to her ahead of time because I said, I want you to talk to me about this like you're hearing it for the first time. So it is the first time.
Yes, because I want to keep it as a secret.
Right. But now we're going to open this secret, okay? You're going to love this. I'm going to show you that cover page. I often love the cover page. And we've got Truman. Do you see him sticking his head out right there? And that's a donut. Let's see what happens. Truman was small, about the size of a donut, a small donut, and every bit as sweet. He lived with his Sarah, high above honking taxis and growling trash trucks and shrieking cars. And the number 11 bus, which traveled south. All right. Truman never honked or growled or shrieked at anything or anybody. He was peaceful and pensive, just like his Sarah. Do you know what pensive means?
No.
It means you sit and think about things. You don't necessarily move your mouth. You just sit and think about things. One day, Sarah ate a big banana with her breakfast, clipped a blue bow in her hair, and buttoned up a brand new sweater. She strapped on a backpack so big, 32 small tortoises could ride along in it. But 0 tortoises did. So I'm thinking Truman's not really a turtle. Truman is a tortoise. Sarah placed 7 green beans in Truman's dish. 2 more than usual. So he usually got 5, but she gave him 7 on this day. I think Truman is wondering what's going on. She kissed her finger and touched it to his shell and whispered, "Be brave." Then she left. Not to worry, she'd left before and she'd always returned. But this time, that backpack was particularly big, and Sarah looked particularly pensive. And that banana, and that bow, and Well, let's not forget about those. Extra beans. That's when Truman saw something he'd never seen before. Sarah boarding, that means getting on, boarding the number 11 bus going south. The bus roared away. Boy, now Truman knows something's up. Truman waited for Sarah to return. He waited and waited. He waited 1,000 hours, well, tortoise hours that is, until he could wait no longer. He would go after his Sarah. He would catch the number 11 bus heading south. Even amid the honking and the growling and the shrieking, even if it seemed impossible. That's when he noticed, the rocks. 3 rocks that had always been there. I like this picture because look, he's going to go get his Sarah and boom, he's in an aquarium and that's glass and he ran into it. But when he ran into it, he noticed the 3 rocks. Ordinary rocks that now seemed extraordinary. Yeah. I love this picture. Look what Truman's doing. He climbed up the rocks. Now he's kind of hanging on the edge of his aquarium. Oh, I love Truman. And the arm of the couch and the pillow propped just right. And that tall boot. And the rug. Oh, that glorious, endless rug. Without Sarah, boy, their home seemed vast. Do you know what vast means, Miss Susie?
No.
Just endless, huge. Yeah. Sometimes if you stand on a beach and you look out over the ocean, that is very vast. Just seems like it goes on forever. When you're a turtle, just about that big, and he finally got on the rug, it seemed vast. And uncharted, that means he had never been there before, and unsettling. Truly unsettling. But perhaps most unsettling was that Truman could no longer see the taxis or the trash trucks or the cars or the number 11 bus. Which way was south anyway? Oh. Now the sun hung low like Truman's head and heart. Just then. And then, vroom, screech, wish, up floors and under doors. Truman heard it. A bus. It was time. Time to catch the number 11 south. Amid the honking and the growling and the shrieking, yet standing there in that ray of light, Truman felt peaceful and pensive again. Brave. Love that picture. But just as he was about to slip under the door, through the opening, barely the size of a small tortoise, Oh, she spotted him shining like the sun. Truman! And she scooped him up and said things like, oh my goodness, and you, how did you ever? And amazing. Sarah kissed her finger and touched it to his shell and tucked him back safely in his tank, where he was peaceful and pensive and proud. And later, just before bedtime, she read him a story. Now Truman knew that one day soon he and his Sarah might travel south. And look what we see on the blackboard, show and tell. To see new sights and hear new sounds and think new thoughts. See, she brought him to show and tell. And I love this back page. It is Sarah and Truman on the bus going home because he'd had a big day. So Cece, what do you think about Truman the tortoise?
I think he was cute.
He is cute. And tortoises and turtles are quiet. They don't bark. They don't purr. They don't cheep, cheep, cheep like birds. They're quiet. And so in this book, the author decided to use the word pensive. And I think she might have chosen that word to teach all of you a new word. You learned a new word, now you know the word pensive. And sometimes people can be pensive. You might know someone in your classroom who sits there and is very quiet. He or she is not bored. They're very good at using their ears. And they don't care about using their mouth. They like to listen. So I just think it's a sweet story, and I hope that all of you enjoyed it as much as Cece and I did. Now I've got another book, and I think you're going to like this. What do you do with an idea? Here, let's see it. This is by Kobe Yamada, and the pictures in it are very cute. He does most of his book in, it almost looks like pencil, but certain times you see some color. See? A little bit of color here. I think that's interesting. And, well, I think you're going to like this book. All right. Let's go with what do you do with an idea? One day, I had an idea. Where did it come from? Why is it here? And I wondered, what do you do with an idea? At first, I didn't think much of it. It seemed kind of strange and fragile. Do you know what the word fragile means?
No.
You don't? Fragile means it could be broken easily. Like you might have a little china something and, ooh, be careful with it. It's fragile. So he thought his idea was fragile. Let's see why. It seemed kind of strange and fragile. I didn't know what to do with it. So I just walked away from it. I acted like it didn't belong to me. But it followed me. I worried what others would think. What would people say about my idea? I kept it to myself. I hid it away and I didn't talk about it. I tried to act like everything was the same as it was before my idea showed up. But there was something magical about my idea. I had to admit, I felt better and happier when it was around. And it looks to me like that idea is getting bigger. And I think he's starting to kind of like the idea. It wanted food. It wanted to play. Actually, it wanted a lot of attention. It grew bigger, and we became friends. I like the way he put his idea in the backpack and carries it with him. I showed it to other people, even though I was afraid of what they would say. I was afraid that if people saw it, they would laugh at it. I was afraid they would think it was silly. And many of them did. They said it was no good. They said it was too weird. They said it was a waste of time and that it would never become anything. Ooh. And at first, I believed them. I actually thought about giving up on my idea. I almost listened to them. Oh, that picture's a little bit sad to me. He's sort of turning his back on the idea, and the idea's kind of walking the other way. But then I realized, what do they really know? I mean, this is my idea, I thought. I mean, no one knows it like I do. And it's okay if it's different and weird, maybe a little crazy. I decided to protect it and to care for it. I fed it good food. I worked with it. I played with it. But most of all, I gave it my attention. My idea grew and grew, and so did my love for it. I built it a new house, one with an open roof where it could look up at the stars, a place where it could be safe to dream. I liked being with my idea. It made me feel more alive, like I could do anything. It encouraged me to think big and then to think even bigger. It shared its secrets with me. It showed me how to walk on my hands, because it is good to have the ability to see things differently. I couldn't imagine my life without it. Then one day, something amazing happened. My idea changed right before my eyes. It spread its wings, it took flight, and burst into the sky. I don't know how to describe it, but it went from being here to being everywhere. It wasn't just a part of me anymore. It was now a part of everything. Wow, what an idea. And then I realized what you do with an idea. You change the world. And that's it. Have you ever had an idea? Cece, have you ever had an idea?
Yes, I had.
What?
I had an idea with some, like, it was like a
Let me tell you about someone who had an idea. You and I were talking about this.
Yes.
When I was Cece's age, and let's say you went on a picnic and you had a can of pop, you know, soda pop, and you wanted to open it. You had to have with you what we called a can opener. And it had this pointy part, and you hooked it on and went, and you'd hear it go, tss. Then you turned the can, and you had to do it on the other side. Tss. It was a can opener. Everybody had one. In your pocket, in the glove compartment of your car, you never knew when you might need one. And we didn't think it was any big deal, but someone had an idea. They probably watched their dad and said, you know what? I think we could make that easier so you didn't have to carry that can opener everywhere. We'll put a ring on it and you pull it. Amazing. Now that was an idea. We don't know when he got that idea. Was he 6? Was he 12? Was he 26? But it didn't leave his head. He always thought that would be a great idea. Think of anything you can think of. Like, think of your playground at a park that you like to go to. Who came up with the idea of a slide? And now they even have slides that go like that or go like that. Somebody had that idea. Or how about the bars, the monkey bars that you go across? Who came up with that? It was a brilliant idea. It's fun to do. Everyone loves it. Cece?
Yes.
Do you like monkey bars?
Yes.
Oh. Are you any good at them?
Yes, I could climb on top of them.
You go on top of the bars? I'm surprised you didn't have that idea. That's the kind of thing I'm talking. Have you ever seen the shoes, and when people walk on them, it lights up? They light up, shoes that light up. Somebody had that idea.
I had those shoes before.
And they're actually nice because if it's dark out, you know where the person is. You can see their little feet going along. Who came up with the idea of roller skates? Think of all the different things. Anything you look at. The seat belt. When you're in the car and you put on a seat belt, somebody came up with that idea. So I love this book because sometimes you have to look at things differently. I think that was a very important thing that the idea said to this young man. He said, the young man was walking on his hands. Now think, when you're on your hands, your feet are up. So your face is down there where your eyes are. And you're seeing a whole different world down there than when you're up and your eyes are looking out this way. And he says, it is good to have the ability to see things differently. If you always look at things the same way, you might not have an idea. But if you look at things a little differently. Maybe you look at things at night instead of day. Or you look at things during the day and not at night, and they're very different. I think this book teaches us a lot of important things that you will need as you grow older. And here I am, really old, right, Cece? I'm really old. Okay, I'm really old, but I can still have an idea. And I hope I do something with my idea. But I think it's very clever the way the author, you know who the author is. What's the author, Cece? Oh, okay, you don't know. All right, here's another word we learned, depensive, and now author. Author is the person who writes the book. Someday I think you will be an author. You can write a story about my dog. Now, if you're the author, it doesn't mean you always are the one who draws the pictures. You might be a very good storyteller, but you don't draw very well. Or you may be able to draw wonderful pictures, but you just don't tell the story very well. So the author writes the words, comes up with the story and the characters. But I like the way the author made the idea keep getting bigger. Oh, I've had so much fun with you today, and I hope you've enjoyed these two books. They're kind of different. Here, Cece, you hold Truman the tortoise. And you know, tortoises can live to be almost 100 years old. So I think Sarah had a special pet there. But the pet was, well, Truman just was concerned because she didn't come back. And now we know it's because it was her first day of school. Hey, if you like the Book Lady, did you know that you can go on YouTube? Yes. And type in The Book Lady. And all the episodes will be there. Yeah. And you can see all the wonderful books I have brought. I go to the library. I pick out books that I think you would enjoy. Cece told me when she goes to the library, she likes to pick out books that have great pictures. Or the grown-up word for the pictures is the illustrations. And that's good, but I still sit down and read it because I'll think, I don't think they'll really like this story. But I hope you like today's story. We have What Do You Do with an Idea? And Truman the tortoise. And until next time, Cece and I say goodbye.